Here at Channel 9, the latest in a long succession of slogans is, "We're the one to watch." We used to be the one and only, but we never were really. Only Channel 5 can make that claim. In January of 1947, Channel 5 had a phenomenal rating and a 100% share of the audience, for it was the one and only TV station in town. Not for long. By the end of that year, there were 3, and the friendly competition had begun. 37 years later, it's more like open warfare. You, the viewers, are tuning to alternatives, movie channels, video players, TV games, and cable. The traditional broadcasters, meanwhile, are fighting among themselves as if their futures depend upon it, which they very well may. And we interrupt this introduction to bring you a special announcement. In the following report, you may notice that conspicuous by its absence is Channel 4. The NBC station, citing corporate policy, was the only station that declined to cooperate in the preparation of this story. We now rejoin our regularly scheduled introduction. And we begin our report by meeting some of the commanders and visiting the battlefield in Washington's TV wars.
From WJLA-TV in Washington, this is News 7, the 6 o'clock report. With Renee Poussaint, David Shoemaker.
And now, Washington's first late-night newscast. This is Channel 5's 10 o'clock news with Maury Povich.
Now, from Television 9, Washington's news station. This is Eyewitness News at 6.
Sometimes it sounds like just so much noise as the 5 commercial stations in town, vying for viewers, gush forth a cacophony of programming and counter-programming, including a daily dose of more than 9 hours of locally produced news. It almost makes you long for the good old days.
Wednesday, February 10th, 7/7 Eastern Standard Time, and here's Roy Meacham.
Hi there, and a very pleasant good evening to you.
When television was young, competition was less fierce and local news was less important. Stations had many non-news personalities projecting their image. Local news operations were modest, made little or no money. Today, those news departments, especially at 4, 7, and 9, are the front-line trenches in the war. At stake, a station's reputation in the community and big, big bucks. Betty Endicott is a 17-year veteran of local news combat.
10 years ago, people didn't pay that much attention to the news departments, but because of the revenue and because of the image, it has become the key to how a station is perceived in the city. That's important. If it's a war or a bloodbath, I think anything that adds competition is good for the viewer at home, because we all try harder. We're all working harder.
In Channel 5's case, working harder means that after years of news neglect, it is rejoining the fray, competing with the big 3. WTTG recently spent $500,000 building a new home for its 10 o'clock news team, as the station strives to build a new image as something more than just an entertainment alternative.
I think we're making a statement, hey, look at us. Watch us at 10 o'clock. We can entertain you just as well, and not only entertain you, but tell you a little something about your world. So, yeah, there is a new emphasis on news, and one of the reasons is we're in a tough market.
Channel 20 continues its 18-year-old tradition of ignoring local news and saying to the viewers, let us entertain you.
Oh, ain't she cute?
Uh-huh. She looks just like me, don't she?
I can't tell. Her mouth is closed.
It's an alternative. The news game here, as you know, is very strong, not just because of the local news, but because there's so much network news centered here. And we offer an alternative.
So the battle lines are drawn, and the winner is the rating companies, who collect up to hundreds of thousands of dollars a year from each station to tell them who's ahead in this video game and who gets to charge the most for commercials.
I don't think that there's anything distasteful or anything wrong with ratings. I mean, ratings are our report cards. It's a measurement of our achievements, our effectiveness. And I suspect that the competitive aspect of it, I think the viewer or the viewing public benefits from it.
In a new twist, beginning last month, that report card comes in on a daily basis via computer, with the Nielsen service installing meters, electronic monitoring devices, on TV sets in some 300 area homes that in theory are representative of more than 1.5 million homes. Every morning, every TV exec can see who was watching what the day before in 15-minute intervals.
You can't let that dictate your life. You just have to go ahead and do the best job you can for all the people and not try to program to 300 individuals who you don't know, can't see, you don't know who they are, or where they are. So it's kind of a madness, isn't it?
Tuning in together, Channel 5 and you. Together, Channel 5 and
The new overnight ratings are stoking the fires of already feverish competition. A symptom, extremely aggressive, slick, and expensive efforts by the stations to sell themselves and particularly their news departments, to promote their personalities, for instance, as the best friends the community ever had.
And bringing you the human stories behind the headlines. Together, they are Washington's most experienced team. At News 7...
These self-serving campaigns that can easily cost $75,000 or $100,000 a pop may go a little overboard.
The one most people watched. And today, Channel 9's Eyewitness News continues to be the one to watch.
I think promotion of news products in some areas has gotten a little out of hand. Promotion is not, in many cases, selling the benefits of the product to the viewer. But in the long run, I think that catches up.
Do you think that stations in this market go overboard selling themselves?
Well, I think there's a real danger of doing that. But I think also if you try to sell an image that isn't true, you wind up shooting yourself in the foot.
All of the executives said, as you might expect, that they'd seen no sign of so-called flash and trash journalism in our town, and all thought any enhanced competition brought on by the daily ratings pressures would be beneficial for the viewers, even if some stories were covered with ratings in mind.
How good is cocaine?
It's the best drug I think there is.
But Channel 7's Goldberg said the danger exists that stations will stoop to conquer.
The meter phenomenon is new, and after it's been around a while, there may be a tendency to try to experiment with it and see if we can, we can hype numbers on a given day. I hope that doesn't happen, but it's happened in other markets.
The most present danger appears to be that with every reporter hard-hitting and incisive, every anchor a seasoned professional, and every station the award-winning, on-your-side, committed one to watch, that Channel 7 begins to look a little like Channel 4, that looks like Channel 9, that looks like...
Two old enemies came together here today. Dreams of much past and to bury.
I guess if you asked the average viewer, I suppose they would tell you that news is news is news, and they're all pretty much the same, and the only difference is their favorite anchor person or their favorite weather person or perhaps their favorite reporter. I like to think that we have our own identity.
Opens, everybody's got opens, everybody's got teases, everybody's got satellites, everybody's got live remote capability. Everybody has the same thing, so it's who does it best is really what counts.
And that, of course, is a judgment for you, the viewers, to make. We want to thank those executives of Channel 5, 7, and 20 and our own station for cooperating in that report with no strings attached. They'll be back a little later with their capsule comments on the future of TV in Washington. But next, we'll join our studio guests, Tom Shales of the Washington Post and John Abel of the National Association of Broadcasters, to toss this TV topic around live and in color.
This is Eyewitness News at noon.
Guns are shooting up people in crossfire. This morning, police searched the neighborhood for clues to the suspect or the weapon.
Prince George's County authorities say it's unclear whether policemen actually shot Mongo Fitzhugh or whether a gunman fired bullets.